Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
What? Hey, what the fuck?
Hi. Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
My name is David Bell.
My name is Tom Ryman.
And we just watched The Scorpion King.
The Scorpion King.
Get over here.
Get over here.
That's
to
his
my
line. That's the line.
Kingdom.
A tyrant who enslaved a nation.
He will destroy us one by one.
Tomorrow my victory is complete.
A warrior who would become their only hope.
I know the prophecy. I have seen it.
Perfect, and we're doing great.
We're killing it.
We're already fucking killing it, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic.
This is already probably the best episode of anything we've ever done.
Yeah. We can say that. You know, we can say that confidently. Real quick, thanks to Dr. DNA, our Patreon subscriber, who brought you this. We just watched classic. Dr. DNA gave us a choice of films, but this seemed like the best idea because, Tom, I had sort of never seen this film before.
Oh, interesting.
I assume you'd seen it.
I have seen it, but I haven't seen it since it came out, which was in the year of our Lord 2002.
It's very 2002. Like,
it's extremely 2002.
All the actors are doing nothing to hide the fact that they exist in 2002.
We are living
like it's
in the year 2002.
Yeah. No, I think I had technically seen this movie before, but I think every time I saw it, I was either, inebriated or with a group talking over it. I never really watched this.
That's fair.
Like, this is one of those films that I'd put on with friends, and then we'd talk about other things, and then we'd look up and the credits would be going. You know what I mean?
This is totally one of those movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it blows right past. So I really gave this a go. How did you like this film, Tom?
I mean, that's kind of a tough question to answer.
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, okay. So this movie kind of rules. But I mean, I don't know. I feel the same way about this movie that I felt when I saw it. I was like, this is stupid. It's not really hurting anyone.
I feel like we're on the same page. Yeah. I would call this charming bad.
Yes. Yeah. This is a fun bad movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again necessarily. But it's like, yeah, it's not hurting anybody. You can sort of see what it's trying to be.
It's very much
and
like
it kind of fails.
A little bit, yeah. It's doing a Conan, but it's going through all of the beats of this kind of adventure movie. Like it's doing a lot of the Mummy beats.
I was going to say, it's doing more like a Mummy or doing like an Indiana Jones to the point that it literally does a move from Temple of Doom.
Oh, yeah, it almost...
him hiding behind the gong.
Yeah, I thought the kid was giving the lady poison dates because of that gong. I was like, don't eat those fucking dates.
Yeah, Jesus. Do you know what movie you're in right now? So it's trying to be an adventure like the Mummy, like a charming adventure. It just doesn't quite do the work. This is, by the way, from the director of Eraser, Tom. But also
the Mask.
The director of The Mask.
Yeah.
But also the director of Nightmare on Elm Street 3,
the Dream Warriors. Yeah,
just
acting like I don't know who Chuck Russell is.
But also the director of The Blob. But also the director of Bless the Child. So you can see where things went after Eraser. This director had 3 movies that's just like, God damn. And then the rest, it's like, all right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the worst, sir. Like, I would, if I met this director, I would want to shake his hand. I wouldn't mention, issues with later films. Like, he's done more than us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not knocking this director.
It was also filmed. It was shot by the director of Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
That checks out. Like the cinematographer?
The cinematographer is the director of Annihilation.
Got real Mortal Kombat Annihilation vibes.
A little. It's not anywhere near as bad as that movie.
Yeah. My first note is, oh fuck, it's Michael Clark Duncan.
Hell yeah, it is.
Because what the fuck? That was he's not in the movie, but he's not in the movie either. You know what I mean?
Not really. I mean, he doesn't. He disappears for like the first half.
Yeah,
he comes back pretty hard for Act 3.
He does come back hard. That's why he comes back for Act 3.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck was I thinking about? It was related to that. I don't know. It'll come back to me. Should we just fucking the old ass king in that opening scene is the sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Is it really?
It sure is.
Who also shows up in The Prestige to tell.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I remember that scene where
he's fucking Hugh Jackman's lawyer.
Yeah, it's like a serious scene, and I'm watching it. I'm being like, "Is that the sheriff of Rottingham?"
Goddamn right it is.
He can't be in movies. He's not allowed to be in movies. So the motherfucker gets his head cut off. Yeah. I like that.
He's the guy that gets his head cut off by Carlisle Cullen.
Yeah, by his son, who brings the head to punctuate a moment later.
Mm-hmm. But it's not in a bag or anything. Reveal. Like he's just been carrying it.
He's just been carrying it.
Mm-hmm.
It's and that's okay. Where do we go? How do we talk about go through the plot of this movie? Because the Scorpion King, this was coming off The Mummy Returns, I assume, and the Scorpion King is like a villain in that.
Yes,
and I kind of expected this to be, I don't know, an origin story. I knew there was other Mummy or other Scorpion King movies, but I was pretty sure The Rock wasn't in those. So I figured this is like an origin to show how he made that bargain in the desert.
I think it was less that and more like they made The Rock that character in The Mummy Returns because they wanted to try to make a franchise out of that character, I think.
And this is like a prequel.
Yeah, this was meant to be the new franchise that was going to spin off of The Mummy, and this really felt like, even during the time, it felt like the idea to spin The Rock off into his own franchise kind of happened while they were making the movie, because it's very clear on paper that the Scorpion King was never meant to be anything but a Boggins that they fight at the end of The Mummy Returns.
Right.
But then they got The Rock to be in it, and The Rock was popular, obviously, when they cast him, but I think in the time between them filming The Mummy Returns and it coming out, he was so fucking popular. So they're like, well, shit, we got The Rock in this movie. He's not really in it that much. I think they even went back and did reshoots or CG or something.
I don't know.
To get more Rock in Mummy Returns.
They definitely did CG,
They
Tom.
definitely did some CG. But anyway, this is less about making a prequel to explain how the Scorpion King came to make that bargain, and more just about let's just take this character and make his own action movies. It doesn't really connect to the Mummy.
It's weird because the whole time you're going on this delightful adventure. In the back of my head, it's he's going to become a scorpion monster someday, make a pact with Satan.
Right? He gets
and then be murdered.
He meets a horrible fate in The Mummy Returns.
It's like watching I don't know, Anakin Skywalker's adventures, where it's but without them mentioning, well, this is where it's heading. It's going to get really dark for this character.
Mm-hmm. No, it's like watching the first.
Eventually,
it's like watching the beginning of the Zapruder film.
Yeah,
where everyone's having a great time, and you're like, I know how this ends.
Right. Yeah, they keep saying to each other, their motto is live free, die
Live
well.
free,
And
die
it's like,
well. It's like,
my friend, you won't do either of
boy,
those
he
things.
doesn't do either of those things.
You are going to be enslaved by like an Egyptian
Anubis.
god. Yeah, Anubis, and turned into a scorpion, a dungeon monster.
Yeah.
That's all he is a dungeon monster.
Oh fuck! There is a Dungeons and Dragons monster. That's essentially, it's from that stupid Dragon Strike video that we have definitely watched on a Saturday or on a Friday rather.
Yeah, he just comes out of that door like he's been in there for centuries when we see him.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like, it starts with him saving his brother, who does not last long.
No.
And I first noticed the music. The music's like James Bond music at times. Did you notice that?
It's like
like sometimes rock.
The music. Oh, I got to see who did this. Yeah, the music is out of its mind. It's like real brassy
really is.
sometimes. Then like an electric guitar comes in sometimes.
I would say it's disturbingly brassy because it's just not. That's not what you really like need for this. But I'm not. I wouldn't kick it out of bed, I guess, either. He saves his brother by ziplining, doing the least sneaking zip line into this camp, and it's an ambush. And we learn that the people who sent him betrayed him, or the son of this king, the sheriff of Rottingham. And he goes to kill this sorcerer, but doesn't because she's a hot lady.
Yes, Kelly who?
Yeah. And then we meet our main villain, Lord Mullet. This motherfucker,
Lord Mullet Rat Tail. Like it is a breathtaking. He's got like a top knot almost.
Yeah, almost.
This dude looks incredible. He's inexplicably a white British man in Egypt.
Yes,
like in North Africa. In like this is ancient times.
Again, no one is pretending that it's anything but 2002. The way the characters speak, like they just
the way they
speaking like
the way they
dudes.
dress, like
the hair.
I texted you this morning, but like the Lord Mullet says like "eat my steel" or something to somebody, and it's like it's the fucking Bronze Age, my man. Like
no, they don't give a shit.
Not
about
a lot
any
of
that.
steel on the ground this time in this particular century.
None of this matters.
Yeah.
And immediately, it's the kind of villain where...
You got King Theoden making bombs.
He's the fucking Leonardo da Vinci character making a
this
catapult.
This was the same year as the Two Towers.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Did he make these at the same time? And he's like, I know one of these will be a hit. Who knows which?
No, because they filmed Lord of the Rings in like 2000, like 99, 2000.
Right.
So
so he probably went from this to Scorpion King and was like,
it's like, boy, I hope those Rings movies take off because I'm just a fucking doddering old man blowing stuff up in a movie with WWE's The Rock.
Yeah, what a fucking decision. Oh my god. So yeah, like the moment you see Lord Mullet, it's just like there's no way they can have a fight. You know what I mean? Like they try to pull it off, but it's like The Rock could decapitate him with a punch.
Yeah, oh yes.
This fucking dirtbag, this scrawny dirtbag king. Is he a king?
I guess like
he's
de facto he's conquered a lot of people.
And so he kills his brother. And he captures the Rock, and he's like, now to kill you. And the sorceress is like, no, my lord, he doesn't die yet. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it when this shit happens, where she's like, he doesn't die yet. And he's like, okay, I guess I can't kill him then. And it's like, oh, you could, whatever.
I mean, you could.
And she says, he doesn't die by your hand or by your command. And he's like, well, then how do we kill you? And then he buries him in ants, or up to his neck, and has ants go to kill him. And like, I'm pretty sure that counts as dying by his hand, right?
Right, like you commanded some hands, and those hands buried him up to his neck in front of anthills.
Yeah, like, does he think he's going to get off on a technicality here?
Maybe. I mean, we do find out that the sorceress is essentially grifting him anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she sure is. And then, of course, like, she is technically right, because he gets buried with this other motherfucker, the comic relief.
Mm-hmm. Did you recognize him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in fucking True Lies
Yeah, and Congo.
and Congo.
It's
Yeah.
Grant Heslov.
Yeah. He's killing it in this.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing a fine job.
Everybody,
I think, in this.
everybody, yeah.
It's part of the charm.
Yeah, a part of its charm is everybody is on the same page.
Yeah, what it is, it's like watching someone like do karaoke and think they're really good, and they're not quite that, but they're like their charisma is like winning you over. It's that, like, everybody's like, yeah, we're doing it. The Scorpion King, here we go. But like it's just not that good. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, for example, this ant scene. So I don't know how the grifter guy gets out.
They just never show us.
I don't know how anything happens here. That he's buried up to his neck, and there's these Indiana Jones Crystal Skull anthills, and this other guy's there, and the other guy is like, I'm gonna live, just you wait. And then like the guard turns his back, and the Rock looks over, and this other guy has just like vanished, like he burrowed down. Mm-hmm. Like what did he do? What did he do?
I don't know.
He does like a magic trick where he vanishes, and then he knocks out the guard. And you think this is like setting up his character, but his character doesn't do anything like this ever again. And then the Rock is like, well, save me. And he's like, well, you promised to go on adventures with me and I'll save you. And he's like, sure. And then they just cut away and the Rock's out.
Yeah. They really yada yada through that scene.
They really do. He's being surrounded by like these big CGI deadly ants. Like, shit's getting real grim. And the guy's just like, I'll get you out. And then they cut away and he did that.
He
and
sure
it's like,
did.
Wait, how? How did any of that happen? So it's like shit like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where it's like they didn't quite do the work to make the movie good.
No.
The action,
the action's pretty fine. Like, the action's fun.
It's pretty fine.
Yeah.
But like it's not clever enough. Like,
no,
it's
definitely not clever, but I will say I do appreciate that going into this movie, you know, because it's a spin-off of The Mummy Returns, and it's from 2002. You're like, okay, I'm bracing for some real shitty CGI action, and that's not what this movie is in its defense.
No, it's stunts for the most part.
It is
it's
mostly
sort of,
stunts.
Yeah, it's still outlandish shit. But it's just I think it's the lack of cleverness is what it is.
The set pieces aren't clever, but like, I appreciated that like the sword fighting was pretty, you know, just people sword fighting, and most of the stunt work is practical. So that was nice.
Yeah, oh for sure. It's just not quite good enough.
Definitely the set pieces aren't clever. No, they're just.
There's a part where he falls like 20 stories. And I'm like, ooh, how's he going to get out of this? And he just hits the ground and he's fine.
Yeah, he just hits the ground and stands up. Yeah.
I guess that's how he gets out of it.
Yep.
Like, what the weirdest part about that, he and again, this is it's almost good. He falls off the side of this big ass building. Mm-hmm. The bad guy shoves two henchmen and goes, follow him.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's a great idea. Like, great line. There's a couple like fun lines like that. Then he falls through a window. The henchmen hit
either side of the window. They
either side of a building.
Roof.
So they actually fell less, and they're dead. And then he falls more, and he's alive.
Yeah. And
he just slams on this like stone floor.
Well, no, he oh no, wait, that's later.
Yeah.
No, doesn't he land in the bathtub? Oh no, he doesn't land in the bathtub.
No, they do this thing where they set that up. It's like a cartoon where they show the woman in the bath and you think, oh, he's going to land in the water. And they stay on that for a second. And then he rips through the ceiling and lands on the floor, on like the stone floor, and then just gets up like a Looney Tunes, like he's Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
And it's like, huh, that's strange. And like, it's not quite played for comedy. And it's not. This isn't a movie where it's a heightened reality where he can survive that fall.
Well, it kind of is, but...
Kind of. He does catapult himself into a sex room.
Right before that.
Yeah.
Like, he's leaving the sex room when he falls into the bath, I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
Into the bathhouse.
filled with just a lot of horny ladies.
I did like that scene because it's like he catapults his way in there, and they're all like, "Ooh, a man," and they're all just crowding around him, but they're also disarming him. They're like taking all of his shit. And then one of them just goes and hits the gong alarm, and so when the guards come in, he doesn't have any weapons. I was like, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, they're doing some stuff. I like the little kid shit. Mm-hmm. Class. I think it's because it's all kind of been done. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. This movie is
street scamps. They rob them.
Yeah. This movie, like it has the wacky thief sidekick. It's got the doddering old man who's an alchemist magician. It's got the sexy sorceress. Who is reluctant at first, but then is on board. And then it's got like the Michael Clark Duncan character, who is like a guy that is an enemy at first, but then he becomes a friend.
They're all the cliches.
They're just hitting all the cliches. Yeah. Like this movie is extremely by the numbers, and the characters, like the actors are charismatic, but there's like the characters themselves just aren't there on the page. So it's entirely up to the actors' charisma.
Right, and there's little moments like when him and the little kid are like faced with a bunch of bad guys. He says, "I'll kill half, you kill half," to the kid.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, that's good. There's a lot of moments like that where I'm like, oh, cute line. I mean, I'm looking up the writers. One of the writers did Twins and Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah.
So classic writers, I guess. The other one did some of the X-Men's.
Yeah, it's David Hayter.
Yeah, in the Watchmen movie. Oh shit.
Yeah, he's fucking Solid Snake.
Oh yeah, he's done a shitload. Oh yeah, there's talent behind
and
the people making this.
And Stephen Summers has a
writing
credit. Yeah,
who is made the one good movie.
Yeah. Yes, that's. I mean, he's got like maybe 3. But man,
maybe 3. Can you name the 3?
Deep Rising, The Mummy, and Odd Thomas.
All right, that's fair.
Those are the ones I would vote for. I definitely wouldn't vote for Mummy Returns or G.I. Joe.
Van Helsing?
Or
what about
Jesus.
Van Helsing?
Van Helsing's is worst.
I would say The Jungle Book is one of the most surprising ones he's done. Because when you go back and you watch that, we did that. You realize how much of it is like, oh, this is going to be the Mummy.
Oh, the Disney one. That's right.
Yeah.
That movie kind of fucks.
A lot of that movie kind of fucks.
That movie kind of fucks.
And it really feels like it's him practicing
was like,
for the Mummy.
It is a real Mummy. So is Deep Rising. Deep Rising is a real Mummy prototype, even though it's more on the horror spectrum.
But yeah, so I don't know where we are in the story. He shows back up. He's got to
kill evil mullet guy.
Oh, right. He goes back into the city with the grifter guy, with his smart camel, which this movie seems to think camels are very smart. And he punches the guy to like get in to be like, I caught a fugitive. He's a real dick to his sidekick, but like again, that's par for the course. That's just action movie tropes. Yeah. He sneaks in and he meets this little scamp and they steal his rubies, his like blood jewels or whatever they call him. And then he has to chase them and then they team up and then the kid gets caught for stealing and he has the shot with Lord Mullet, but the kid's going to get his hand cut off in the same room. They're like just doing it in the same like hangout spot where he's just like sitting there.
Yeah.
And this guy's whole deal that we learn is he catches arrows.
He can.
Yeah, he can.
He can.
Until he can't.
Until he can't.
Man, we'll get to it. And so The Rock has to choose between, do I save the kid or kill this guy? I would argue if you kill the guy, you kind of save the kid too. Like the guy cutting off the hand will certainly like stop what he's doing. Yeah, if his boss gets shot.
He'll like stop and turn.
Right.
At the very least, if an arrow just torpedoes through the air into his boss's brain.
Right. But yeah,
he will stop what he's doing at least for a few seconds.
Right. He very non-violently saves the kid. Notice that there's a he doesn't kill the Scorpion King, even though like they're trying to make it kind of family friendly.
Are they? He kills like 100 guards.
Does he? Later, but like in combat.
Oh, yeah.
he doesn't assassinate people, even though that's what he's there to do immediately.
In the caves? He's like getting
that's
people
true.
in
He's, like,
traps
hunting
and
them.
jumping people, and like he
I
puts
think-
lots and lots and lots of people on ice.
It felt like they were doing something, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Is maybe because it's all off screen.
I think what that
they,
was
they say something at one point. He says, "Let's go out there and cripple these guards, not kill." And I thought that was very interesting. And like they never really show him kill anybody but the final boss. It felt like
that is not accurate.
no. Yeah, I guess not.
I mean, he
There's like a
kills
weird lack of
lot
blood.
people, dude.
There just felt
There
like
is
there was
a
like,
lack of blood. Yeah,
it felt like it was. It felt like it'd been declawed somewhat. Like he goes to shoot this executioner and he doesn't. He like shoots the axe out of his hand, and it was like that's a weird thing to do. Like that's a weird moment. Like why not have the arrow just shoot the guy?
because it was. I mean, what's going on? I think what the point of that scene is that's when like he has his flare of conscience, because he is just very much like, I'm just here to kill the sorceress and then I'm leaving. I don't care about any of you people. The kid's going to get his hand cut off. He's like, well, I still ought to shoot the boss, but the boss is like surrounded by women at the time, so he can't get a shot. And then he basically decides to save the kid at the last minute and shoots the axe instead of the guy. I think that's partially them trying to convey like the last minute morality decision, and also because the guy swinging the axe is Carlisle Cullen from Twilight. He has to have a showdown with Michael Clark Duncan at the end, so he's protected by plot armor.
He's a mini boss. That explains
he's
it a lot
mini boss
more.
Yeah.
All right, and then we get the escape. He swings. He uses the catapult without question. He doesn't know what it'll do, and the guy's like, I devised this as a means of transportation, but couldn't do the landing. And he just gets in it and catapults himself out a window with no knowledge of what's out that window.
Mm-hmm. Where it's aimed.
Yeah, luckily it's aimed in a fuck room, and then
it's aimed towards the sexnasium.
Yeah, and then of course then he falls 20 stories and lives and like kidnaps the naked sorceress in the bath.
Yeah,
they flush themselves down the bath
because the drain in the bath is man-sized.
Yeah, it is.
Why would the hole in your bathtub be big enough for an adult human body?
Right, and so this is I feel like this scene kind of sums up the flaws, which is that it's always like feels a little off. Like they couldn't write a smart way for him to get out of this situation. Mm-hmm. So it's like a weird Rube Goldberg of nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Or they will just not show you, like with the thief getting himself and the rock out of the sand. They just don't show us that.
Right. They go to the desert and there's like the brief moment, where he like kills a bunch of people, and that scene was well done. That was really well done.
That's cool.
Where
the sandstorm.
Where he's trapping all those motherfuckers like through the sand waterfall. Like it was just really shot well. And then he's all fucked up. She heals him with fuck magic.
Hell yeah,
something.
she does. Yeah, it is. That is.
Yeah.
This movie, the sorceress, poor Kelly Hu. Like she's
there for one reason.
Yeah, she is just. She's the same amount of naked in the entire film. It's just her clothes shift position.
Yes.
So she's naked in different areas, but it's the same amount of naked. It's very funny that they keep, like, every wardrobe change she has. It's like, oh, you're still wearing like 8 inches of clothing.
Yeah.
It's just in a
maybe
slightly
she's
different
in a bath and it's her. Yeah, maybe it's her hair covering her boobs. Yeah. Maybe it's, she just got out of the bath. Oh, she covers it with like a weird cloth she finds. Or she just, when she gets to choose, the character chooses to dress, she's in a bikini. She's constantly in the Princess Leia gold bikini.
Yes, yeah.
Basically.
Entire film.
Yeah. It's a shame. And,
I mean, she got that paycheck, man.
Oh yeah. Her whole deal is she's psychic unless she fucks.
But we find that
grift. It's Yeah, it's her people have said that so they don't get taken advantage of, which is smart.
Yeah.
But she fucks the rock in the desert. She first heals him by like mounting him and doing like real sexy stuff.
We said it was fuck magic. Yeah,
it's fuck magic.
Mm-hmm. She does her like enchanted kegels
Yes.
while straddling his torso, and it cures his poison.
Yes, I guess. And it like heals his wounds. They find an oasis, which is run by Michael Clark Duncan, and that's the "Will you not join me" type of scene where everybody gets together and a plan unfolds, and they sneak in. There's this weird subplot where like Mullet Lord, his army is like nervous that he doesn't have his sorceress, and they're like really hounding him.
I fucking love. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie because it's honestly not that. It's weird for a movie like this, but if you think about it in like a real life context, it's not that weird.
No, because this Mullet dirtbag, like they're probably ready to beat him down at any second.
He's just a fucking scumbag. The only thing he's got going for him is he's like, listen, I've got this sorceress. She tells me the future. And he keeps winning because he's got this magic lady. And they're like, all right, I guess we'll ride with you because you got the magic lady. And so, like, when she gets kidnapped and isn't around for a few days, there's this one guy who keeps, like, calling him out, like, where's the magic lady? He's like, she's fine. She's resting. Because, like, people are talking that, like, maybe you don't have the magic lady anymore. He's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Just trust me. Take my word for it. Okay, but I'm really going to need to see some proof of life on this magic lady.
They literally are like, we need to see some sort of proof.
Right.
Let me tell you, friend.
You got a
we're
photo
gonna
of her
stab you in
holding
your
up
sleep.
today's newspaper? Yeah, exactly.
like we are circling you right now because I don't know how to tell you this, but it was the only thing that got our respect. Yeah, that's what it is. He's like
quite literally the only thing you have to offer. I don't know, like, that's nice that you're wearing leather and you can do kicks and shit, but really the magic lady is what impressed us.
Right. He's a terrible leader because then when she
sucks. Yeah,
when she
awful.
shows back up, he's like there, and then he kills that guy in front of everybody, and then he's like, party's over, we fight tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, way to get your guys on your side, you jackass. Like, the moment you'd think all that sorceress has to do is just say, kill this guy, and they would just kill them, right? Because she's actually the person.
Right, all she has to say is, I have foreseen that your guards are gonna stomp your ass into the ground and then cut your head off.
Yeah, she just has to say it like really loud near the door.
Right, she just kind of says it just like a little too loud.
Yeah.
Just like a
That's
little
your
bit.
Guards.
And all the guards start looking at each other like,
Yeah, and it works out really well for them. Then he has prepared a test for her.
Oh, with all the cobras.
Yeah, did he just have that?
Yeah.
Because he's like, I want to see if you still have your powers. Because he's like, I don't know, oddly suspicious she doesn't have her powers anymore. Not sure why.
Well,
he's just like, you fucked, didn't you?
Well, I mean, let's be real. She was abducted by a violent barbarian.
Oh, that's true. The Rock is like, seen as like
he's
a barbarian.
Right. So, and all he believes what she says, where it's like, well, you know, if I sleep with anyone, I'm not going to have the sight anymore. So he wants to make sure she's still magic.
My point is that he definitely had that snake test built ahead of time because it's on like a specialized table. He takes 6 urns.
Unless he has it for some other reason.
Yeah. He takes 6 urns, puts 4 snakes in 4 of the urns, which I thought was weird because, like, why not 5? Like, why not do a 1 in 6 chance, not a 1 in 4 or 2 in 4 chance?
2 in 6.
2 and 6. Sorry,
I think.
Like, I don't know why he did that.
I don't know.
He puts the snakes in the urns, and then the thing rotates. It's like a Price is Right prop.
Yeah, it's a very game show. Choose your fate sort of thing.
It really is. And he's like, spins the urns for her.
All right, Monty Hall.
Yeah. And it's like, if you are psychic, you will correctly put your hands in the urns that don't have snakes. And it's like, what the fuck, man? I don't know. And then she gets one of them right. Well, because she is psychic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the Rock shows up, and like what you'd expect is for him to immediately beat down this dirtbag, but like they actually have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know, it was really hard to believe any of that.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, she pulls a snake out on him first.
That's true. I feel like anybody could have. I don't know. And it goes down with, once again, The Rock, and this is pretty badass. He gets in this. So, all right, they're on like a roof, and bad guy comes in, shoots an arrow at The Rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do the slow motion, and he like points the arrow. She sees and goes like, no! She runs like a good 10 feet.
She runs quite a distance. Yeah.
And then gets in The Rock's arm to like shield him from the arrow. And then he has enough time to go like, no, I'll get in the way of the arrow. And it all happens in like slow motion. Yeah. And this archer is just taking his goddamn time.
He's really lining up his shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to get a fucking medal.
It's like, I don't want to fuck this up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not great at this.
Yeah, he doesn't, I don't want to have to do the snake test, so.
Yeah. The arrow hits The Rock in the back, and then he does the badass thing where he pulls it out of his back like it's on a quiver, and uses a bow to shoot the bad guy. And it was so weird. I know they set this up, but you have The Rock in your movie. Why would you ever make it come down to archery?
I don't know.
Like, that is the least thrilling way for the Rock to dispose of somebody.
You say that. You say that.
I know.
But what happens is the sheer force of the arrow fired by The Rock sends Mullet Lord flying off the roof of the castle like John Travolta in the end of Broken Arrow.
Yes.
Into a cloud, into an explosion.
Right.
And then like a couple of scenes happen, like they cut around to our different characters so we can check back in with them and see that they're all okay. And then it cuts back to the front of the palace, and this motherfucker is still falling out of the sky like a flaming shard of the heavens. And just plunges into the earth like a meteor, and it fucking rules.
Right, because what's-his-fuck had set off an explosion in the basement?
Yeah, the climax of this movie, like the final like action sequence is pretty sweet, in my opinion.
Okay.
We're bouncing between The Rock fighting Mullet Guy, Michael Clark Duncan just killing hundreds of guards, and Carlisle Cullen. And then Thief Guy and King Theoden in the sewers beneath the city, setting up a bomb. So it's cutting back and forth between a couple of different pieces, and I thought it worked well enough.
I thought King Theoden kind of is the only one who mattered, setting up that fucking like Game of Thrones style bomb in the basement.
Hell
like
yeah.
He kind of saves because it. If you remember, at the end, it's like the bad guys are about to face off against like the kid, and like and Michael Clark Duncan is outnumbered, and then Theoden sets off the bomb, and that clears everybody out,
and everybody that's left just kneels because
yeah, and
it's the prudent thing to do,
right? And like even if The Rock didn't kill the dirtbag, I feel like he would have lost there and then, right? Like his army's gone. But like The Rock kind of like is the cherry on top, and so he fires an arrow into this asshole who goes flying into the flames and falls. And yeah, everybody's like, I guess this guy's the king now because our society is very unstable. So new king, yay! I hope he's not a monster.
Well, thank goodness that's over.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't start killing us.
Hope he doesn't make a deal with Anubis.
Yeah.
Turn us all into skeletons. That'd be a drag.
That'd be a real drag. That is totally what happens.
That is 100,000% what happens.
I love at the end where he kisses the sorceress in the crowd, and everybody just starts cheering.
Everybody cheers.
And it's like, what a weird do they have in this? Yeah. They're all like starving and confused, and they're like,
Right, yeah,
they're
like
kissing.
they don't fucking know. Like a lot of these people can't tell the difference between one leader and the next.
Yeah.
So they're just like, I guess this guy's the guy now. Yeah.
They're like, look, let's clap because he might kill us if we don't.
Right. We have no
Yay.
idea what his temperament's like.
Yeah. Oh, what a film.
What a motion picture.
What happened in the sequels? Do you know?
No, The Rock's not in any of them, so
Yeah, why would he be?
why would I watch any of them?
They got him just right
Just in
the
time,
nick of
yeah.
time. Yeah. Because he was like, I imagine they were like, and that's a wrap. And The Rock like put on his coat and just walked silently out the door.
Yeah,
Like, great, I
walked-
gotta be somewhere. See ya.
Walked straight to his car.
Yeah.
I gotta go make walking tall.
Yeah. Like, I know I'm legally obligated to do this movie, but I gotta tell you guys, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Oh man, from the director of The Mask.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, this I don't know. It's not. It's judging this film. It's like it's more of saying like when I say it's not good enough, I'm more saying it's not good enough to be a hit, right?
It was a hit, but what do you mean?
It was a hit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I guess it's not good enough to be like a lasting thing, to be
This'll
a classic.
I think this will be one of those cult movies. It's already 20 years after it came out.
Was it a hit or
Yeah.
was it like we made some money?
I mean, the budget was 60 million, they made 180.
Okay, so it wasn't. All right, that's not huge.
It's 3 times its budget.
Yeah, but like the budget probably doesn't account for like advertising,
It doesn't
like
count for
marketing and all that shit.
how much money they spent on that Godsmack song that comes screaming up in the end credits.
Sorry, I just peeked at the producers. Do you know what I just learned, Tom? Do you already know?
Yeah.
Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is like a WWE film.
Yes.
This was still when he's like on loan from WWE.
Essentially, yeah. Vince McMahon owned. I don't know the legal whatever of how it went down, but like WWE owns the name The Rock, or at least
Right.
they did at the time. So yeah, Vince is wetting his beak.
Yeah.
on The Rock's movies.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why he transitioned from The Rock to Dwayne Johnson.
Vince McMahon feels like he just feels like that villain who would be like, I own you, Rock, you know, who like in the Rock biopic, he would have to like really break free from.
Maybe I feel like
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that's just the impression I get. Maybe because he literally just plays a villain in his own thing. So
I'm sure he has that relationship with the majority of WWE's roster, but like The Rock's at the level of a Hogan or a Stone Cold, where it's like he's gonna be really nice and really accommodating and really work with The Rock because The Rock makes him a lot of money.
I would argue The Rock is surpassed Hogan and Stone Cold.
100%. Yeah, he is literally the most sought after star in the world right now.
Yeah, The Rock could buy WWE. Like he is, yeah. And so it is neat to watch these humble beginnings.
Yeah, that's what I was the point I was making is I think people will go back to this movie the way they go back to like Arnold's early movies because it's kind of like fun and funny to watch the beginnings of this career that is just massive now.
Here's what I'd say about that is you're right, but I don't think the way we don't go back and watch, like people don't really watch Conan, you know, because you go back and you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, this isn't quite there yet.
It's pretty chill.
It's all right, but you know what I mean? Like, there's not huge Conan fans. I guess you nailed it when you said cult classic.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not quite his Terminator.
It's not quite Terminator, no.
Because the biggest hit, I would say, against this movie is The Rock isn't quite The Rock yet. He's a little too serious. He's not being allowed to be The Rock enough. The same way early Arnold, it's like, oh, he's not quite
right.
He's like a little too serious. He's a little like, and it's not their fault. They're just not them yet. They're not a star yet. So it's a little muted throughout this film, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. I remember being more excited for The Rundown when The Rundown came out.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about how The Rock's not quite The Rock yet. He was, like, he displayed all the qualities that we like about him in WWE. It's just he wasn't being allowed to do that in movies. So when The Rundown was coming out, and it's like, it's an action comedy. They're pairing him up with Sean William Scott. And it's going to be, an action comedy. I was like, perfect. Yes, that's what The Rock needs to do, because The Rock is funny as well as being just a gigantic man.
Right.
So yeah, it's and even then, like, The Rundown's not, you watch the movie, it's fine, but it's like he's not quite The Rock yet. He's close.
It was only really when you hit Southland Tales that you're like, there he is.
Yep.
There's the star that we all know and love.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you think has he ever done like drama? Like real drama?
I know that he has.
Really?
I mean, I guess kind of Southland Tales would.
No, that's why I was reminded of it, because it's technically drama, but it's also Southland Tales.
I don't know. I think there's. Yeah.
Is he capable of it? Do you think? I think he might be.
I think so. Yeah.
But like, will we give him a chance?
I don't know.
Pain and Gain. No, that's still comedy.
Is that what? It's mostly his role specifically is mostly comedy in that movie too. I think it's also a question of what he wants to do.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's absolutely true.
He's definitely at the point where he can just take whatever.
He's new Schwarzenegger. That's pretty much it. He does the Schwarzenegger thing, where it's like you'll never really see them do like a big, maybe in his older years, the way Schwarzenegger did Maggie, where it's like maybe they'll do a couple artsy things because they're like, hey, I've never done that, and I have so much money I can have every American killed. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
But
that is his exact decision making process. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's happy where he is. I don't want to speak for The Rock, mainly because he can hurt me. But I'm sure I don't know. It's an interesting like artifact.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Would you ever watch this again? Do you think?
Probably. I'll probably end up watching it again. It might be another decade or two, but
right. I'm not going to seek it out anytime soon. I definitely, I'll watch it again when I forget it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of those movies where somebody could be like, "Hey, let's watch The Scorpion King," and I'd be like, "Yeah, all right."
I would probably, if someone was like, "Hey, let's watch The Scorpion King," I would probably counter with Doom first.
Try to get him for Doom, yeah.
And like I'd probably get all the way to like Be Cool, and then I'd be like, "All right, let's watch The Scorpion King," I guess.
Be cool, Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Fucking fine movie. Fucking fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. Any other? Excuse me. Any other thoughts?
Nope. Other than he is producing a reboot of The Scorpion King that's going to take place in modern day somehow.
He should be in it.
He's not gonna, but he should be.
Wait, it's gonna take place in modern days?
I like that it took a minute for that to hit your brain.
Yeah, it sure did. What the fuck?
It's like your brain protected you from that information for a few seconds. It just refused to hear it.
Yeah. Is it going to be like Hercules in New York?
I don't know.
You know who should make a Hercules in New York?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. He should absolutely do a follow-up.
Yeah.
A sequel.
It should be him coming back.
Yeah. I want that more than I want a lot of things.
Use the fucking Paul Walker, Peter Cushing technology to bring Pretzi back from the dead.
Absolutely. Like, if I got 3 wishes from a genie, that might be one of the 3. It's like, look, I know this is fucked up, but I'm gonna need a Hercules in New York sequel. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, make that happen.
Yeah. Man, modern day Scorpion King, the fuck are they thinking?
I don't know. I don't know.
What is that? What is...
You have a lot of questions, Dave, and I'm going to tell you my answer to every single one of them is I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure, man.
Oh, shit. Hey, Dr. DNA. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this was great.
For the Scorpion King.
Yeah, I needed this, you know? Need is a strong word. I wanted this.
Mm-hmm.
Want's the right word.
I think want is right around.
Yeah. This was produced through our Patreon, and if you're interested, you can go to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. For $5 a month, you get exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We do 2 of those a week. We also watch movies with our patrons every Friday night. That's the $10 a month tier. We watch shit like The Scorpion King. We certainly watched The Mummy.
We sure do. We definitely watched The Mummy.
Yeah. So I don't know. If you haven't yet, check out our Patreon.
Yeah, do it. We also have a store at tpublic.com/store/gamefullyunemployed. We can get t-shirts, masks, mugs, stickers, posters, all kinds of stuff. Check it out.
Yeah.
Do that.
Scorpion King.
Scorpion King. He's back in modern day. He's a 21st century Scorpion King. Now he can actually say eat steel.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. While he does what? What does he do in modern day?
I don't know.
Get arrested?
I hope yes.
Is
at
it
some
a time
point,
travel deal?
At one point, he will be arrested. You can't be the Scorpion King out in public and not have the cops show up.
Right, because if someone was like, "We're gonna go see the Scorpion King," I would assume I'm gonna buy meth. Like I would just assume that I'm seeing like a guy with a rat tail mullet selling me meth.
I'm gonna buy a ton of meth and a car that somebody was murdered in.
Great country.